Hello, I'm Hugh Collingbourne and I'm the sensei of the Heartland Aikido Club here in North Devon in the UK. Now, my students often ask me what books should they get to learn Aikido. So I've just got a few recommendations which I think are very good books especially for newcomers to Aikido. Now, I'll start off with quite an old book. It's by Toei Sensei. It's just called Aikido, the Coordination of Mind and Body for Self-Defense. Now, Toei was the chief instructor under O-Sensei, the founder of Aikido, and this was written in the early 60s. Subsequently, he went on to form the school of Ki Aikido, and some people might think, well, if I'm not practicing Ki Aikido, this isn't relevant to me, but this is actually what was taught at the time before Ki Aikido became a different school, if you like. So I think this is relevant to everybody who practices Aikido. It covers all the standard techniques, lots of exercises. It's got bits of paper falling out on the floor, but it's got photographs here. They're pretty grainy photographs, actually. They're not great, but they illustrate most of the fundamental things that you need to know. Another good book, Aikido with Ki. This is written by Maruyama Sensei. Maruyama taught under Toei Sensei. He came along when Ki Aikido was founded as a school, and this covers quite a lot of the same ground as Toei Sensei's book. Let me put that down. Again, it's got lots of photographs of the basic techniques and lots of explanations of how you should do the escapes, the warm-up exercises and so on. It covers, as I say, quite a bit of the same sort of ground as Toei covered in his book. I'd say probably there's more of an emphasis on Ki in this one and the what that means in Aikido. Next one. Now this is an interesting one. This was recommended to me quite recently by one of the high-ranking instructors in the organisation that I teach with, the British Ki Aikido Association. It's called Aikido Exercises for Teaching and Training, and it's by C.M. Shiflett. And it's mainly really aimed at people who are teaching Aikido, so it's an instructor's guide. But I actually think it's quite a good book for learners as well. For instructors, it has a great deal of information on how to solve problems, the sort of questions that learners ask about Aikido, problems they have with doing breakfalls and how to get over that. So for an instructor, a great book. For a student, yeah, quite a worthwhile book as well. The next one, now this really is a classic. If you've been doing Aikido, you probably already know about this one, but if not, you should do. It's called Aikido and the Dynamic Sphere, and it's wonderful. It's just a magnificent reference to the fundamental techniques of Aikido. I'll just show a close-up of this, because one of the great things about this book are the terrific drawings, and they really illustrate the techniques, the direction that the direction of the energy in each technique. It's a great book, absolutely great book. I'm not sure it's the first book I'd recommend for a complete beginner, because it's just a bit too detailed. It might be a bit overwhelming if you're an absolute complete beginner, but if you've been practicing any length of time, you really should have that. Final book I'm going to recommend, Dynamic Aikido by Shioda Sensei. Now, Shioda started up the Yoshinkan school of Aikido. This has got lots of photographs in, techniques, and again, usefully, it shows sometimes I don't know if you can see that, it has arrows and so on to show where you should be moving, where the motion happens in each technique. Now, bearing in mind that I teach Ki Aikido, you might think that's an odd choice. Yoshinkan, people will tell you, well, it's a hard style, it's a hard self-defense style of Aikido, whereas Ki is perhaps softer and more spiritual, what have you. This is wonderful. I personally don't really think that it's necessarily a good thing to divide Aikido into all the schools and never the twain shall meet. And, you know, this sometimes people say, well, my style of Aikido is better than your style. Personally, when I come across somebody who can teach Aikido, I don't really mind which school of Aikido he's from. If he's a good teacher and he's got something to teach me, I want to learn. And Shioda is a good teacher. And this book has got some wonderful, wonderful techniques, well explained. Great recommendation. As I say, I'm Sensei from Heartland Aikido Club in North Devon, and this is just one of a series of videos that I'll be posting on YouTube, so I hope you tune in for more later.